Creepers left to rise, buzz like crazy. Everybody's trying to stimulate it. Spiders in the mirror and feel this can't be right. Back to the scene of a Friday night, to a blessed collision still frozen tight. Spear drinkers, Cupid and the sound of her first chime. And why did you argue? We're dreaming of those eyes, the best part of my life.
Good morning, everyone. Happy day 5. I didn't wear my lip gloss today, so he won't attack me, hopefully. But he's gonna be loud. Happy day 5 of the Paranormal Romance Readathon. And I didn't get much reading done last night, to be honest. I did, well, that's not true. I ended up reading about 100 pages more. Wolfsong is the only thing that I'm focusing on, so I'm sorry that for the next few days that's all I'm going to be talking about. But I still love it. I love it. Love it so much. And I am on page 430. This is all I have left. And there's an excerpt of Raven Song in here, so I have about 200 pages left, a little over 200 pages. And I had some thoughts, which I wrote down, which I will share with you. So, I have talked in a few other videos about how I sometimes struggle with the fated mates concept. Like, on the one hand, I love the idea that there is someone fated to be your, like, soulmate forever. Like, I love that idea so much. I love the idea of soulmates. I love the idea of fated mates. But there's also a part of me that wants there to be a choice in there too, so that, can you quit? So that each person in the relationship, that they choose that person as their fated mate, you know? And so I feel like fated mates can be done really, really well, where there's both that blend of agency and fate, or it can be done really not well for me, where it's all just fate. And those are the ones that I typically don't like the most, because I want there to be that moment when these two people choose to be together. And when it's their choice and the fated mates concept, it's just like angels singing, like the best romance right there. And I feel like that is something that TJ Klune does perfectly in this, and that he does have, like, fated mates as a concept in here, but it's more overruled by Ox and Joe's agency to choose, mostly Ox, to choose Joe as his mate, and they just love it so much. It's so good. I honestly, like, I would die for these characters. I would die for these characters. I love them so much. Ox is such a relatable character. He's imperfect, and he's very aware of how imperfect he is, and he's not very confident in some ways, in a lot of ways, especially as you have seen him grow from, like, I mean, we've been reading about him from the time he was 12, and seen everything he's gone through, and so I feel like you can't help but love him, you know? But he's so endearing, too, in how he always tries so hard to do what's right. I literally come in here and talk to you guys about this book, and I get chills. I just get chills. Like, I love this book. It's perfect. And I still have 200 pages left, and we're still in kind of the sad part where sad stuff is happening. But also, like, a really interesting reveal just happened, which I am definitely here for. And I know I'm being, like, very vague, and if you haven't read this, I'm hoping that I'm encouraging you to read it, and if you have read it, hopefully you know you're picking up what I'm putting down, you know? Anyway, it's so, so good. This is my ideal character-driven book. This is a character-driven book to perfection, because another thing that Klune is so good at is making you so completely invested in this story that you literally do not ever want to put it down, but at the same time, hardly anything is happening, plot-wise. Like, honestly, I could tell you the plot of this story in 2 sentences about what's happening. But at the same time, I can't put it down. I need to know what's going to happen to my people, you know? I love it. I love it. I love it very much. So, those are my thoughts. I tried really hard to think of other things I could say that wasn't just, I love this book so much, but here I am still. I just love it so much. It's just so perfect. So I honestly don't, can you, sir? Literally, he sleeps until I come in here and start talking to you guys. Y'all, I just filmed that with my microphone not on. I hate when I do that. I'm so sorry. Hi, the microphone's back. I really get annoyed when I don't plug that in and I forget sometimes. Anyways, so that's all that's happening for me, Paranormal Romance Readathon wise. Once I finish this book, it will cover 2 prompts, animal and LGBTQ, and so the only prompt I have left is angel. And I gotta be real honest with you. I don't like angel books. I just don't. Unless it's a dark angel book, because that's interesting, you know? So I have a book picked out for my angel prompt, but I also kind of don't really know if I feel like reading it. So if I get all the prompts but angel, I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to just continue reading what I want to read, which is Wolfsong. And then I told you yesterday I ordered Ravensong. I just got a notice that says it will be delivered today, so I may start that one. I'm going to finish Wolf Gone Wild too, so that's what I'll do. I will read this one and Wolf Gone Wild, and then I don't know what else I might get to, because today is Tuesday, and when does this readathon end? I don't even know. I will have to check. I know I put it in the description. I put the dates in the description, but I don't look at it. I just copy and paste it. So anyway, it's just another exciting day at home. I showed you my bookshelves yesterday. I don't really know what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do only the work I have to do, and then I'm just going to read for the rest of the day. I own my own business, and I will pay for that later when I will have to make up the time that I took off, but it's election day. It's a stressful time. I'm going to comfort myself by reading and drinking. So here's my tea today. So Dylan commented on my vlog yesterday saying that, yeah, you'll never get coconut milk to foam, because it sounded like he worked at a Starbucks or something, and he said whenever anybody would ask for a cappuccino with coconut milk, he was like, yeah, nah bro, that ain't gonna work. So he said almond milk might work better, and it actually did. The foam worked a lot better. Not nearly as good as the regular milk. So let's try it. I made this with my pumpkin spice tea, which is my favorite tea, so let's see. It's just perfect. I mean, honestly, this is just perfection. I do wish that I had the same amount of foam that I could, can you not squeak that? That I could get with the dairy milk, but alas, I cannot. So I wonder if lactose-free milk would work. Anyway, the drink is good. I got some foam this time. My book is perfection. I adore it. It's just upside down. It's perfect. And that's all that's happening. So I'll check in with you later when I have any other thoughts or anything other that feels like I need to share. See ya in the next clip. Would you look at that, you guys? Well, Ravensong has not come yet, but would you look at this gorgeous old school Joanna Lindsay I got? Like, I have no idea what this book is about. I haven't read a Joanna Lindsay, but I saw this cover and I had to have it. I don't even know, like, there's a fire, and it just reminds me of like the Last Unicorn art. I don't know if it's the artist in me or what, but I am in love with this cover, and I just really need to have it. So I thought I'd show you.
Creepers left to rise, buzz like crazy. Everybody's trying to steal my lady. Spiders in the mirror and films can be.
It came, it finally came. The day has been saved. I'm so happy. I love it. I'm so excited. Well, hello, my friends. It is evening of day, what day are we on? 5? Day 5. It is the evening of day 5. and I really wanted to wait to update you until I had finished Wolfsong, because I've only got like 150 pages left, and I thought that I would wait until I finish to come and give you my final thoughts. But this is the problem with daily vlogging. Like, a book this big, you're gonna get a lot of updates as I read it. But hopefully that's interesting. I still am really, really loving it. I just, honestly, I feel so much for these characters, and I know I've talked about that at length for how dearly I love these characters and this story and this world, and it just makes me feel so many things. It's just, I honestly feel like everyone should read this book. I just love it. But I wanted to talk for just a minute about, so I can already tell you that unless something really drastic happens, this is going to be a 5-star read for me. And I wanted to talk for just a second about what makes a 5-star read for me. Because if you look at this book objectively, like, it's not perfect, you know? Like, he does sometimes repeat lines over and over again in his writing style. I feel like there are sometimes where he really drags the emotional tension out, which is maybe a bit too long, and I'm just giving examples for things that I could critique this book about, you know? But when I give a book a 5 stars, I give them that because the emotional reaction that book caused in me was stronger than anything else. So to me, yeah, I could go ahead and pick apart the books I give 5 stars because, like, they had this flaw, or they had this flaw, or this was maybe a problem. But unless it doesn't create that strong of an emotional reaction in me, it's okay. I didn't say that right. But so I can overlook flaws. And I feel like that's what we do with people we love, right? I can overlook flaws if my emotional reaction is so strong that it overpowers anything that I might see as a flaw. I can overlook that. I can see past it. And that's what I feel. I honestly feel like there are very few things that I want to be technical about and pick apart. Like, those were 2 minor things that my critical mind noticed, but my emotional, you know, like my heart, my emotions are like, we don't care. The way that this book makes me feel, and makes me feel so hopeful and feel so much love, and feel just like this book gives me hope in humans. It really does. And that, for me, is 5 stars. That is a 5-star read. I will give any book that does that 5 stars. You know, like, I think about some of the other books that I had a few problems with, but that emotional reaction that I had to that book was so strong and so powerful that it overrode whatever flaws I think that might have happened. And I know another book that happened like that for me was, again, The Magic by Lisa Kleypas. That book did have some flaws, and I was a little frustrated with some aspects of it, but that emotional moment at the end, when the couple finally gets together, was so powerful for me that it obliterated any flaws that I could see to dock stars off of it. So maybe that's not the most scientific way to rate books, but anytime I get a book that makes me feel so strongly, it's 5 stars, you know? Another book I can think of that I just rated 5 stars was Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. This was a fantastic book, and it made me feel so many things. And they weren't all positive things, you know? It doesn't always have to be a positive feeling that makes me have a 5-star reaction. There were some things in A Sea of Ruin that were deeply unsettling, but they all played together, and they worked together to bring the plot about, and it showed different aspects of human character that I just loved so much, and I loved seeing that explored. 5 stars, you know? Were there problems with that book? Yes. But the emotional reaction that it gave to me was stronger than any flaws or anything that I want to critique about that. So that's one reason why I feel like it's kind of hard for the way that I rate books to recommend 5-star reads. I don't recommend books just based on how they made me feel, because I know that you might not have that same feeling, you know? You're gonna have that same feeling with this, I promise you. But some books are just going to hit us differently, because we're all different people, right? So I just feel like That's how I rate 5 stars. And so if you're reading a book that I have rated 5 stars, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a perfect book. It's this book gave me an emotional reaction that I could not forget, and that just like obliterated anything else that I might have thought about reading that book. It was 5 stars based on how much it made me feel. I mean, obviously I give 5 stars to other books too, but if a book is technically perfect and it does not create that emotional response in me, I don't care. It's not going to get a 5 star. I don't care how good it is. Because that's what reading is about. That's what reading fiction is about. It's creating emotions in us and making us feel things. So if you don't have that emotional component, but it's technically perfect, who the F cares, right? That's one problem that I have with literary fiction. Nothing wrong with literary fiction. I don't like seeing literary fiction given 5 stars just because it's technically perfect. Because what did it make you feel? That's what I care about. That ended up being a pretty passionate rant, but I don't know, that's just been on my mind a lot lately. Like, I thought about doing a video just explaining my rating process, but I didn't have a ton of content to share today, a ton of thoughts about this book, because I'm reading it, I'm reading a lot of it, but it's just the same old stuff. I love these characters, I love Joe, this book is a freaking masterpiece, it makes me feel things, so many things. It's gonna be a 5-star read for me. But I just wanted to impart that because I just felt so strongly like I needed to share this. So yeah, and books... Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. But this has been a bit of a weird day. I feel like I'm kind of hitting a vlogging wall. Vlogging every day is a little hard, and so that's one reason why I'm not... I'm trying to end my clips a little early so I still have time to edit, export, upload, all that good stuff. It's surprisingly time-consuming. Anyway, thanks so much for following along. Thank you so much for watching these daily vlogs. I know that I have so many of you who have been watching every single one, and I just want you to know that I love that so much, and I'm so grateful for you for taking the time to watch these videos. I love making them. I love talking about books. I would love to give you the content that you want to see. So if there's a video topic you want me to talk about, please let me know. I would love to know that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for another vlog.